and then there'll be like this one really niche joke, but there'll be like 2 people on either side of the theater that will just crack up laughing because they're absolutely on track with it, but nobody else will kind of understand it.
You're just a clown, dressed up as a sex toy.
So dark. You sure you're not from the DC universe?
This is Deadpool 2, not Titanic. All right, you're at like an 11. We need to get you down to a 5, 5.5 tops. Just phone it in.
Listen, this thing only goes to 11. So beat it, Spider-Man.
My stuntman's about to fuck you up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, those are alts. What's funny is like they put, on our blooper reel, they put alts, and alts are a different thing to me.
God, you look like a house fire was in another house fire.
So there's a lot of alts in our blooper reel, but I've always been a big fan of bloopers.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. This is going to be my video for all the Deadpool deleted scenes, the extended cut that they're going to be releasing later this year. There is an actual extended cut that the writers have talked about, because right before they sent all the different cuts around to theaters, they cut an extra 12 minutes out, and then there was stuff that was cut out earlier, either because it was too graphic or it was too expensive. So if you remember the deleted scenes and all the banned stuff from the first Deadpool movie, Deadpool 2 has that in spades. So if you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. There's new giveaway stuff I'll explain at the end of the video. Here's where we say, of course, spoiler warning for Deadpool 2. If you have not seen the movie yet, we'll be talking about very specific plot points during the film. But starting at the beginning of the movie and just working our way through.
Top of the posters now says from the studio that killed Wolverine.
Yes.
Tell me that was you.
Well, that was a true story. I mean, they killed Wolverine. By the way, I'm sort of upset about that still because one of my great goals is to do a Deadpool Logan movie.
I'm really busy doing some stuff, and if I... Yeah, don't give him too much attention.
The Deadpool.
Escape from Unicorn Mountain, Deadpool, Electric Boogaloo, yeah, Deadpool, Suburban Commando 2. We had a ton of them, like honestly 100 of them. And I think it was just so kind of amusing to read them all that we just sort of forgot to actually put one of them on there.
Probably one of the funniest things was the Groundhog's Day style montage they said got cut out when Wade first drops down and gets that drug dealer right after he kills Vanessa. So he chases him down, but then you begin a very short montage of him trying to kill himself. First he stands in traffic and gets run over by that truck, then you go straight to him sitting on the gasoline tanks and you start the John Wick James Bond opening credits. They had a much longer version of that, Groundhog's Day style, where you just spend a whole portion of that opening part of the film just going through different ways, each more graphic than the last, of him trying to end himself. They didn't lose it because it was too graphic, they just lost it because the film itself was too long and it was slowing down the intro. One of the best things that got the early banhammer from Fox was the Baby Hitler post-credit scene, so he goes through the montage of going back in time and fixing, quote-unquote, the timeline. He saves Vanessa, then he saves Peter, he goes back into Wolverine Origins and kills that version of Deadpool, then goes back and kills himself in real life before he signs the Green Lantern contract. Then there was an extra scene after that where he goes into the maternity ward of a hospital and he sees all these babies lined up and you see him look down, oh how cute, and you see a little baby Hitler. He reaches into the baby's bed and strangles it to death. They actually filmed the scene, they showed it to test audiences, but audiences were so freaked out and didn't know what to think of it, they didn't want to end the movie on a bummer like that. So naturally Fox is like, you are definitely taking that out of the movie. But I would be willing to bet because they went so far to finish the scene that they'll just add it right back onto the DVD. There was a hilarious version of the X-Force auditions. They had a bunch of different alternate ideas for who they could have audition. Chris Evans' Human Torch character from the Fantastic Four movies was probably the funniest one that they didn't end up going with.
It's clobbering time!
It's catchy, right? Isn't that great?
That obviously never got shot. It didn't make it past the script stage because they wound up going with the Vanisher and then later adding Brad Pitt in post. But if you guys heard about Black Tom early in the game and then you saw him in the movie and you were like, how come they only used him for this racial joke? Like, what was the deal? Wasn't Black Tom supposed to be a really big character? The truth is that he was, but what happened is they had a very juggernaut plan for him in the film. He was going to be like a genuine supervillain. He had these really cool powers that they were talking about, but they said that the studio looked at the budget and they said there's no way you have the money for this. So they had to delete all that material and turn him into a joke inside the icebox scenes. And they said that the actor was actually a real trooper about it too. When they told him, they're like, yeah, you know, we had this big plan for you, but the studio said that we couldn't do it. He still came in and shot those scenes. But if you're wondering what his powers are, essentially in the comics it's just plant manipulation. Think like a really hardcore R-rated version of Poison Ivy. There were a whole bunch of fake scenes that they shot for those X-Force montages that they used in marketing but were never in the film. Terry Crews said it blew his mind because they went to great lengths to shoot very elaborate scenes that they knew weren't going to be in the final cut. There was the scene of Terry Crews fighting the stuntmen. There was the convoy scene with Shatterstar fighting the DMC guards with his 2 blades. Then, like I said, there was that 12 minutes that they had to cut out of the final version of the film. Part of those were other separate scenes connected to jokes that did wind up in the film. One of them was the soap dispenser joke where Deadpool makes Colossus think that he jacked off in a soap dispenser, so Colossus sniffs his hands like he had just been using the soap dispenser, and everyone's like, oh, that's so gross and so funny at the same time. One of the scenes was them in the kitchen with Colossus trying to pump the soap dispenser, saying it won't work, and Deadpool going, just give it a few extra pumps, I just filled it. There was another scene with Negasonic where they're in the kitchen and he's just become an X-Men trainee and he's labeling all of his food inside the giant refrigerator in the X-Mansion that you see in all the X-Men movies. And she just tells him that he's full of shit, this is all a game, you're never going to be a real X-Men, you're just pretending to do this. They'll probably add that scene back in for the DVD. I know a lot of people were like, where was Negasonic? She had even less to do than she did in the first film. There was a little more of Domino showing off her powers, just extended scenes like she and Deadpool go back and forth about whether or not luck is a real superpower. Even though it's a real thing in the comics, the movie uses it more of a joke on really funny situations that you see during action movies where you're like, this could never happen, the hero would never land that shot. The way they use her, though, is by explaining that it's literally a superpower, which is why they can have her do all those ridiculous things. So grand total, there's about 20 minutes of deleted footage that they're planning on putting back on the extended cut. And when I said, extended cut, the director did say that, yeah, we have one that we're going to release later. They're putting it together right now, just picking and choosing. A lot of it's alternate jokes. A lot of it's the scenes that I just told you about. But if you remember the first film, like them going back and forth, riffing the really funny jokes, some of it will also just be like that, like them just going on and on trying to improv scenes. They don't have an actual release date for it yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be later this year. If the Infinity War Blu-ray and home video release is going to be coming out at the end of July, I'd be willing to bet that Deadpool is just going to be a little bit after that. But until they do drop that, the giveaway is going to be for the Infinity War Blu-ray, so all you have to do to enter that giveaway is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. Leave all your video requests in the comments below. But click here to watch all the banned jokes and deleted scenes from the first Deadpool movie again, and click here for all my Deadpool 2 Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.